just fed these cows here this week, and for the next couple of weeks it's going to very much be pre-calving prep. So there's animals to be moved around, there's equipment to be got, there's sheds to be set up, and pretty much everything needs to be kind of done so that if a cow was to calve out of the blue, we're ready to go, have everything that the cows would need and everything that the calves would need. But first we want to cows are fed here, and we want to mark some cows here with spray, because cows with blue tape on their tails are due to calve from the 21st of February till the 17th of March, and they need to get in on minerals and they need to get in on oats and soya within the next week. And they're here and they won't get to get it here, so they need to go to the yard where the weanling heifers are at the minute and go into that side of the shed. And the weanling heifers need to be moved from there up to the slattage unit where the fattening heifers are at the moment and the later calving heifers are. So they'll be some of the main jobs that we want to try and get done this week. But look, we'll go in here now and we'll just get these cows marked up. And if you haven't subscribed already to the channel, please pause the video and go ahead and do that now. And if you like the video at any point throughout the video, please hit the like button as well. Both of those really help the channel. Just on marker sprays there, there's a lot of terrible marker spray out there for anyone that's using it will know, and they're all fairly expensive. I won't use anything now other than Flexmark. I wouldn't buy anything now other than Flexmark. It's the only marker that'll stay on the animals as long as you will want them to stay on. The cans go a long way because the paint covers really well, so you don't have to use a heap of it. And yeah, just for the whole of calving season, we'll just buy a stock of this now at the start. Buy it from whoever is the cheapest. The prices vary drastically, so price around online, but loads of places do them. But that's it, Flexmark. Serious stuff. So when we have the cows are marked in the other yard moved down, here we'll have about 110 of that roughly, mainly green. So green is from the 1st of February to the 21st of February, and blue tape then is 21st of February to the Paddy's Day, pretty much. They'll all run a week here or there, like over and under. So that'll be 105 to 110 in this yard, and then, like I said, the other yard then that we're able to calve in is just down that hollow there, 100 metres down the road. And down there will also be some greens and then mainly blue. So by Paddy's Day we should have the 105 to 110 here calved, and there should be 45 to 50 down there calved. So we'll be looking at 140, 150 calved from the 1st of February to St. Patrick's Day. And just to makes it so much easier when they're moved around. You know, you're just feeding oats and minerals in this yard, and you're just feeding oats and minerals in that yard, and you're just collecting calves in this yard, and you're just collecting calves in that yard, and there's a camera here and a camera there, and all the other yards, then you don't have to worry about them getting oats and minerals for a couple of weeks more, and you definitely don't have to worry about having to have calves or pick up calves down there. Just while I was putting these into the shed here, I'll just show you these gloves on a dairy farm. Huge cost and very important. Dairy farmers, we love wearing them. They save our hands. They're very important for hygiene while you're milking, but they can be fierce expensive for what they are. So for years we used to use the Milkmaster, the blue ones, the German made ones. Very expensive, very good glove. And the problem is we like to throw out a pair of gloves after every milking from a hygiene point of view. And while you could, if you wanted to milk all week with the one pair, the Milkmaster ones, they'd last. But we weren't doing that, we were throwing them out. So we were looking for a middle of the road glove then that was able to do a day's work, as well as be happy enough to throw them out after a milking, that you weren't sickened with the price of them. So we tried every make, and we could get a milking out of them alright, but they wouldn't do any during the day work. This time of the year is the hardest time of the year on gloves, because you're not milking and you're doing all the other rough jobs around the yard. So after lots of searching and use, these gloves are the glove that we were looking for. This isn't sponsored now, but just might help you find good gloves. Bodytech long cuff dairy glove, and they're teal green. So they have the long cuffs on them, which is essential when you're milking. And these will do the work this time of the year as well. You'll get 2 days if you're not doing terribly rough work with your hands. 2 days, no problem. And then they're €15 a box, I think. We're buying them off Greg Care at the minute, but just priced around online anywhere. You can get them cheaper, you buy them there. But €15 a box, which means you're not, the other ones are probably €25 a box. So you're not too worried about throwing these out after every milking either. They're not stupidly expensive, but like I said, they will do a day's work as well. So just, if you're looking for gloves and your heart is broke trying to find dairy gloves, because the long cuff is what you're looking for. That's the most important part when it comes to milking. They're good, very good, and good value. The camera there, closed door in the van, and turned around. Look, I have an audience looking at me. Cows are gas. To update you on the beef cattle here, made a bit of a mistake with him. Put them up on their nuts a bit too fast. So we'll do 1.5 kilos a week or that. Building them up to maybe 5 kilos maximum. So we're doing that for 2 weeks, and then I got impatient then, and they were going so well on the nuts that I put up the last 2 kilos in 1 week, and just it was too fast for them. So they ended up with acidosis, borderline acidosis, but they were definitely all sick because they came up one morning to put out all their nuts and they were standing back in the pain. So Paul came up the next morning and all the nuts were still on top of the silage. So we knew then that their stomachs were off, so we cut them back then straight away on the nuts. See, if I had just waited and put them up slowly, I'd have had them up by now and they'd have been flying. And instead I put them up fast, and now I have to wait anyway. So pulled them back to one bucket, which was just 1 kilo or that ahead, and the appetite slowly got up. Now the appetites are up, but they wouldn't kill you for nuts now, still. And we're going with this rumen, that white stuff that you see on it there. That's rumen buffer, so it's just like baking soda. Just we had some there from a few years ago when we got acidosis in cows. So just that is certainly regulating them a little bit, and they're slowly getting back up on it, but it'll probably be slower now to get them back up on the full amount than if I had a wait at the start. So that's this week's mistake, first of many, and they're made every week, don't worry. Well, now only 2 load left. They're loading handy and they're unloading handy. So we'll keep it coming handy while we can get it. Now, all in their new home. They all seem happy enough. You'll have heard there in that clip a little bit of coughing going on. These are both due a dose and their IBR booster. They've been in long enough now off of grass. They came in before Christmas, so that they can be injected for fluke and worms. And then they're due the IBR booster. They would have been due in December, but they didn't come in till Christmas. And we didn't have time to do them, so still early enough in January there, but they are coughing a little bit, and there's a couple with little bits of mucus around their nose, so that would be a sign that there might be a little bit of IBR stirring around there. So these have been moved to here, so they're going to stay here now. The farm they were on there is where the silage block is, and these were used to graze that off at the end of last year, so they went out on that sometime in September or October, I can't really remember. And then they went around that whole 40 or 50 acres until they had a graze, came in at Christmas and went into that shed where they were for handiness. They came up here now to this shed because the block for them is all out here. So this is part of the grazing block for the farm that we own. We rent this part, but it's part of that cow grazing block. But the heifers graze the furthest away part of it all the time, the bit you don't want to be walking cows to. And when they're growing enough grass, you don't ever need to get cows over here. So the heifers get this, so they get like a 20-acre field that they graze in a rotation. And then there's two other split in 6 paddocks, so they can go around in a circle. And then there's 2 other fields you can take in if you get tight for grass at any time. So they've come up here now, and they're going to stay up here. So they'll be in now on silage and soya until they get out. There's plenty of grass out there. We won't be waiting for grass, but we will be waiting for it to dry up a little bit. So it probably usually is first, second week in March. The last thing we want to do is put them out and then it get a little bit wet out there and then have to bring them back in. We'd much rather get them out to leave them out. And so we'll get them out as early as we can and try and get that to line up with being able to keep them out. So that's the reason that the weanlings have been moved up to here. They're going to stay here now for the rest of the year. They'll actually be here, just like these girls, which are in calf heifers. They'll actually be in here now on this block and in this shed for the next winter as well, until they are due to calve. Next job I'm about to go do is the shed that they came out of has to be cleaned out now and disinfected. It was power washed and disinfected, so it'll just be cleaned out and limed this time. We want to get that done today, and then that'll be ready for when calving starts in the next 2 weeks for that. So that's today's job. One side cleaned out, and this is the second side. The cows that were in here are just over there now, jumping around in there, so there's not that much dung in it. We usually only clean this out once a year after calving, but Paul recommended this year to get it cleaned out before we start. I think it's a great idea because the dung is just not getting too high in the shed then. I promise I can see out through the windscreen better than you can see on the phone there. It's handy enough that the dung is just going up the road, so we don't have to go very far with it, and you're able to park the trailer nice and close here. The only awkward thing is the roof is a bit low in that shed, and we have to let the back anchor down then as I'm going in and out. Other than that, it's not too bad. There was 2.5 load in the right hand side, and there'll be 2.5 load in this side, I'd imagine. Just to set it up there for calving there. It won't build up as fast as you can. Save on straw too, because the bed is drier underneath. Paul is just filling bags of lime there we'll bring down lime and we'll spread it underneath the new bed like that's going to go into the shed down there. So those sheds are all power washed, like I said, out earlier in the year and fully disinfected with that, I can't think of the name of that, Pharmasan or something, the department approved one for TB and all anyway, and it was all disinfected with that. So it'll be just cleaned out now, and there isn't been animals in it for very long, so clean the dung out of it, lime the walls and lime the floor and put down fresh straw, and that'll set it up for most of the cabin anyway. That's broken down. We'll talk about that another day. So now that we have the sheds cleaned out and disinfected with lime and rebedded down there, we want to get these cows that are marked at the start of the week, all the orange ones through from here down to there. I think there's 21, so that'll be 5 load roughly in the trailer, but have a meeting first, and then after that we'll get the trailer hooked up and we'll come up and draw them in. Anyone ever see a cow like this before? A cow with a cleft palate. So born like that. And survived and lived and is calving every year and is milking. The man we're renting him on the farms off had her when he was milking cows. And nursed her through feeding her as a calf. The whole way through to when he got her up and milking and calving, and we've took her on since. She's flying, great condition and everything. Very unusual to see that. Let me know in the comments if anyone else has one, or seen one even, to survive to become a cow. See, is moved. There's about 50 cows now down in this yard, so that's this yard full. The yard up the road is full, and that means all the cows calving up until Paddy's Day are where they should be. All getting minerals, all getting oats and soya. That means we just have to keep an eye on this yard here and that yard up there, camera in each yard. The likelihood then of a cow springing up all of a sudden in a yard that we're not expecting will be low. Hopefully have none, but usually have a couple there where the scan dates will be a little bit off by a week or 10 days. But it'll just keep the walk to a minimum now and keep it concentrated in just 2 yards. Oh, with those cows moved, we're down to our last batch of animals, thankfully, that we have to go through, and those are the heifer weanlings. So they need to get their backs clipped, their tails clipped. Need to put marker ear tags in some of them, and they're going to get an injection for fluke and worms of Ivermectin Super, and they're due their IBR booster. So we're going to get them all up into the crush, and Paul do their backs and their tails, and I'll inject them, and we'll marker tag some of them together, and that'll be it. That'll be all the stock that we wanted to get done this week done. Today is Friday, so everything went to plan, thankfully. Our box of stuff here. That's our gun for boosting them for IBR. Tags and ear tagger, obviously. Needles. And that's the injector we use for injecting with Ivermectin Super. The Ivermectin Super is too thick to sit down on the top of a gun like that. It's very slow to suck it up and fill it up. So, and even the syringe ones, or the bottles that fit into the bottle of the bottle that I make Super with the pipe out, I find are too slow to fill as well. So we just pour the dose into this half bottle and suck it up out of it with this, and it works fairly well. And it's the most accurate too, because I know exactly how much is in it, because I can see it filling every time. Sometimes these can have air bubbles in them or a little bit not filled, and you don't know if you're injecting in a hurry there. So. And that's the injection they're getting for fluke and worms. And look at the price of it. Half a litre, €210. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, we can't farm without it. And they know that too. I'll show you the clippers as well. Now, none of this is sponsored. It's the most important thing to remind everyone. If I could have got videos like this when we were starting and know what to buy and what worked, it would have been a great help. So look, this is just the clippers that we use. It's a Clipster. These clippers won't break the bank. I think €300, as far as I can remember now at the time, about €300. It came with 2 batteries there and a couple of blades for it, and it has the coarse cutting blade on, which you want for cows. The batteries seem to be good. It'll do about 1.5 hours cutting, maybe even 2 hours cutting on a charge, and it's not hard on blades. It's still on its first set of blades, and this is its second year with us cutting. So Clipster, well worth buying, because they won't break the bank and they're decent enough. There's Heifer there selling clippers like for Heifer selling clippers there for €1,200, like for battery clippers. I don't know how many cows or what sort of a farm you'd want to have to be running them. But anyway, 300. Just a note on the clippers. A lot of back's not clipped in there. The clippers only a good job if you charge it up. Big fail by me. Anyway, we got some of our backs clipped. You just see what we planned on doing is that one there. Just that. Couple of strips in their tail. Try and get them in again another day there. And just get them all done. But they're injected for fluke and worms now, and they're boosted with IBR. So, and some of them got marker tags. So 2/3 of the work was done with him. We're finally on to calf jobs. Now the stock is all sorted. So today is Saturday, and we're just in the calf shed here. Now this shed is used to store straw from August on, whenever the straw arrives. So it's usually full. Right out to the front here, so we've used this side of the shed worth of straw. That side is still full, but before calving starts and to get the shed set up, that straw needs to come out of there and come over to this side of the shed. So most of it will fit on this side, and then there's calf pens all down on this side of the shed then, which you start in. Individual crates go into this span here, and then there's 2 big calf pens so you can put 20 calves in it. And then there's a passageway down the middle, and then there's 1, 2, 3. This is very much an overflow pen here, but 2 main ones there that you can put about 15 calves in each side there. So between full crates and 20, 40, 55, 70, 85 or 90 calves, and with this overflow you could put 100 here. Too many, but if there's a problem, you have to. We also have an overflow calf shed up the yard, which you'll see when we're setting that up. But this is the focus for the minute. All these bales have to move over to here, and they can't just be moved over to there because you're in your own way going in and out. So they have to be taken out of the shed. There's 14 to go on the trailer to go to the yard where the cows are on straw that are due to calve, and the rest then need to come out and go up the yard out of the way first, all of them, empty this side of the shed, and then bring them back down and put them in on this side then once the shed is free. Slow job, but no other way of doing it really, unfortunately. It's 1 day a year, and it's kind of done then, so we'll have to get out here. As you can see there, it's a pretty slow job because the tractor's fairly big. There's stuff like calf air stuff there, like water heaters and stuff that you don't want to hit, obviously. So we're getting through it now. I won't get it done today. Now that I'm in the middle of it here, I won't get it done today, because everywhere else is to be fed there this afternoon. So pretty much every yard is out feeding this afternoon. So I'll work till lunchtime at this, and I'll have this span here cleaned out, because that span there is where all the individual calf crates go. So I'll do a bit more on Monday and hopefully get finished on Monday. But if I don't, Paul will be there Tuesday then putting the calf crates together, and I'll still be able to walk away stacking in bales here while he's at that. So the main thing for today now is to get that span there emptied out. Now that's that cleaned out. This will have a full row of individual crates down along here and a full row of individual crates on this side. I passed through in the middle, and they're the red lamps there. The Paul set up last year, and he's left them up then for handiness this year. If you have a calf a bit slack or whatever, they can go in with that. Just handy to have them there. What's left here then in this straw stack, there will fit exactly in these 3 spans here. So 86 or that we can fit there, and there's 86 in that there. This group here then needs to just go up into the yard for the minute, into the sand arena, and there's only a trailer load, or there's another few bales outside there as well, so probably only 2 trailer loads that'll be outside then, and we'll be using them fairly fast anyway. And it's okay if they're outside for a week or 2 weeks even, because they're just going to be going in under cows for bedding. So that'll bring an end to today's video. I'll get this stuff, these couple of bales brought up by the sand arena, and that'll be it for down here for today. If you liked the video, please hit the like button now, and if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe as well. We'll talk to you next week.